Derek, good to see you. We're going to start with a question. What is a retirement drawdown strategy? I know you have 6 tips to make your money last. So we spend decades building our nest egg, and then when we retire, we need a plan to stop saving and start spending, but not spending too much that we risk
Right.
running out of money. So again, you have 6 tips to account for all these variables. So first you say you need a plan to minimize taxes.
Yeah, Erin, this is a great topic. So going into income planning or switching from that kind of growth accumulation period to income, minimizing taxes really always isn't about actual dollars saved. It's more about planning for tax rates, the tax environment. Today we're in the lowest tax environment we've been in decades. So when you start to look forward and you look at potentially the next 30 years for someone, I think it's just very important to understand what type of tax repercussions you're going to have on your income and making sure that you're planning appropriately or hedging what potential tax rates could be so you're not surprised in the future. I think
Right.
it's about as simple as that.
Right, because we know they could be much higher as they were in the past. Good point.
Certainly
All right,
could.
number 2,
Mhm.
we need to make the right decision about claiming Social Security. And there are so many permutations when it comes to Social Security.
Yeah, I think this comes down to many different households and situations. But sitting down with an advisor, looking at your tax strategy and retirement income, and then considering how Social Security and timing of that's going to be. It could be that you're a single individual and you're just trying to figure out when's the best time based on my own plan. But if you're a household or a joint household and you have 2 retirements with 2 separate retirement dates, I think it's important to just look at the proper timing and see how that fits. And the other thing I think everybody always needs to consider also, Erin, is that you need to look at survivorship. And a good
Mhm.
advisor will be looking at that with you and your spouse or your household. And with Social Security, you always have to remember, typically the higher of the 2 benefits stay in place upon the death of the first spouse. So
Mm.
I think considering that timing, making sure that you're covering that longevity risk with Social Security. So just very important to figure it into the plan.
And then similar equation here. If you're lucky enough to have a pension, you need to choose the right pension payout.
Yeah. And for pension payouts, I think it comes down to, again, that same topic we were just talking about, which is survivorship. Looking
Mhm.
at is there an opportunity for a percentage of that pension to continue on? Is the pension large enough or a big enough place in the income plan that you need to look at survivorship? We need to look at ages based on the spouses and when they're going to retire. So all of that has to be considered in and into the income plan. Real simple.
I love that you're always thinking about the family, Derek. Well said.
Mhm.
Okay, and now number 4, this one, it's difficult, right? You have to balance long-term growth and
Yes.
guaranteed income. Guaranteed income and long-term growth.
Yeah. So this is the same topic we've covered a few times, Aaron. When we move into retirement or getting close to retirement, what I've seen is a lot of individuals and advisors kind of miss the boat here significantly. Most advisors and individuals are really, really comfortable in the accumulation phase, right? You pile the money into the 401ks and the
Right.
brokerage accounts, and then you just ignore it. Yay. The problem is when you walk into retirement or you're going to switch from that paycheck to Social Security pensions and investments, you need to really have a structured plan. So we've talked about in the past, you need really 2 buckets. You need to set the duties and responsibilities of money that you've saved into 2 separate buckets to have 2 separate purposes. The first is you want to make sure that you have an income bucket, a bucket that's going to produce income. It could be dividend stocks, structured notes, annuity product. You can go a whole different chasm of individual accounts to utilize for income. But then you need to separate funds for duties and responsibility. You still need growth, long-term growth. If you're going to be retiring at 65, Aaron, you might have 30 years of retirement. You're
Right.
going to need something to fight inflation,
Right.
long-term costs, expenses, or building family wealth. That's where that growth bucket. So separating duties and responsibilities. Sorry,
Mhm.
Aaron, I got a little long-winded there. So
No,
excited.
it's so important though, and I know they're all interrelated, which brings us to number 5 too, which is you need a plan for longevity.
There it is. It's about having still that growth bucket, separating
Mhm.
the duties and responsibility of money to produce the income that your household's going to need, just like you were working. That's the Social Security pension income. And then that other thing, depending on your risk profile, it could be different to individuals, but we need something which is untethered or unhindered that can grow long term. So when we get that 20, 25 years down the road, there's the bucket of funds in addition to your base income that you have to solve problems.
One of those problems being inflation. Account for inflation.
Taxes, inflation, two uncomfortable subjects. How's it going to look? We certainly, inflation now, I think everyone can understand a little bit better after the last 2 years of seeing what we've dealt with. So the opportunity that everything works in cycles and that's going to come back again in the future, the odds are 100%. It's a question of when. So just accounting for it in the plan. And I think that's where the growth bucket really does play into.
Well said. Derek, talking through these tips is incredibly helpful. I think that some people might have some questions about how they can make sure that they're doing this drawdown strategy correctly for their financial plan. What's the best way to reach you with questions?
Yeah, they can come right through the website and connect with us at 3leaffinancial.com. They can also give us a call in the office, 703-273-2326.
All right. Derek, thank you.
Thanks, Erin. Appreciate it.